Come and dream with me.
Hello, welcome to this What Do You Want to Watch spoiler cast for the live-action 101 Dalmatians. I'm Ashley Hobley. Joining me today is not known Dalmatian hater Kieran Marchand, but Dylan Blight.
What a reference. Hello, I like all 102 Dalmatians.
No, we're not talking about that film. We're only talking about the 101 in this film.
Sorry.
Alright, please be aware we'll be freely discussing anything and everything about the plot, themes, and any of the films. So if you haven't watched it, come back later. So with that said, let's jump into our discussion of 101 Dalmatians, released 1996, directed by Stephen Herek, screenplay by John Hughes, based on the 101 Dalmatians by Dodie Smith, starring Glenn Close, Jeff Daniels, Jolie Richardson, Joan Plowright, Hugh Laurie, Mark Williams, and Tim McInerney. Anita, a fashion designer, and Roger, a computer game writer, have to rescue the puppies of their Dalmatians from Cruella de Vil, an insane woman who wants to use their fur to make a coat. So we're doing this spoiler cast because they're about to release Cruella.
Well, they just did.
For context.
No?
Just did. It came out yesterday as a time of release. So with that context, that's why we're jumping back into this, so we can sort of have a reference, I guess, for the Cruella de Vil we're going to get played by Emma Stone. I tell you what, I don't think I've watched this film since I was a child.
I also have not watched this since I was a child. Yeah, I haven't watched this since I was like 10, maybe.
The first thing I went, oh, Jeff Bridges is in the film.
Yeah, I remembered that part.
No, I completely forgot about that. Oh, didn't care to know. And then John Hughes, obviously, wrote the film. And you could kind of tell this is released 1996. A couple of things, I think, that influence it. Home Alone, I think, 1992, I want to say. There's a clear influence. Dumb and Dumber comes out in 1994. I think you can see elements of that in Jeff Bridges' performance. And then I feel like this was the point in where there was a slate of animal movies. Live-action animal movies.
I was about to say, when did Babe come out?
I want to say that came out in 1996.
Babe came out 1995.
1995, okay.
Yeah. So yes, it was all those things.
I mean, it's not quite Babe level, to be perfectly honest. But what do you think of?
No, but it was the animal loving time, you know.
Yeah, it was the animal loving time. But yeah, what do you think of rewatching 101 Dalmatians as an adult?
I mean, even though I haven't watched this for so long, I always had a soft spot for this film in my heart, and I think that a lot. So here's my weird thing with the Dalmatians franchise. I watched this prior to the animated movie, so when I watched the animated movies as a kid, I actually thought they were based on the live action movie. Like I had them backwards in my head.
Yeah,
I had it the wrong way around. But also, I've watched a lot of, and I had to look up. I was looking it up after I watched it the other night because I couldn't remember if it was something. There's been things from my childhood where I'm like, did I make that up, or was that a real thing? You know, like I remember once. I thought I watched a Superman and Batman animated movie, but it was just like an episode of Justice League. But it was like I thought it was anyway. So I looked it up because I used to watch. There was a 101 Dalmatians TV show, animated show, and I watched a lot of that. So as a kid, it had like a couple seasons. It was like 60 something episodes or something like that. So I watched that a lot. I had fond memories of this, so I definitely went in with sort of rose tinted glasses a bit, and the plot for this movie, when you finish it and you want to boil it down, like if you was to write your own summary, is absolute insanity. Like when you boil it down. It is woman meets guy, both have Dalmatians. They get married seemingly a day later.
Yeah.
Crazy boss who Devil Wears Prada just decides that she's going to steal puppies to make coat. Film ends with Home Alone segment where I'm pretty sure Cruella should have died multiple times and didn't, or had major injuries like her back was broken or something, you know, but she's perfectly fine. And then at the end of the movie, the family decides that, and the police decide that they won't put too much effort into finding homes for these other I can't do the quick maths, but like 80 whatever extra puppies they find.
Yeah.
And instead they decide the family will just adopt.
Hey, do you want to take all these 84 puppies?
Yeah. So when you boil it down, the plot for this movie is absolute nonsense. Like none of it makes any sense. But it's also a kid's movie and it doesn't really need to. And when I'm sitting there as an adult going, you just met this man or you just met this lady and you're sitting around a fire and there's a joke about would you marry me or something. And I'm like, this is just a weird scene. But I guess as a kid, I never thought about that. And
So,
kids in
yeah,
general
this is
just
how
wouldn't.
it happens.
Yeah, this must be how the birds and the bees happen, kind of thing. So yeah, that's quite weird. But all in all, it's none of them and those characters that make this movie entertaining. The movie is great because of Glenn Close, obviously. That is the performance. Cruella, absolute scene chewery to the maximum, but in the benefit of the film. Like,
Yeah.
you could not have her doing a more tame version of this role. It just wouldn't work. It's so good actually that it was just like, go fucking crazy, and it works out so well because that's what's the sort of made the character famous and what that character is known for now. And I can't imagine that Emma Stone's would have watched this movie and thought about Glenn Close when they were filming Cruella without having watched it yet. Like, I don't know how close she gets to that sort of thing, but it's hard to not watch that trailer and go, there is an inspiration from Glenn Close, these films in that performance, surely. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It's just a wild, insane, silly movie, ultimately.
Yeah, I had a really good time as well. I mean, it's crazy, and I like enjoyed the first half of the film, even though it's like very odd. You know, humans falling in love, them both falling into a pond because the dogs are like super strong. You know, and yeah, Cruella, amazing. Glenn Close, just interesting to watch on screen all the time. She's clearly the best parts of the movie. I thought it's crazy that like half of this film is kind of silent. Like half of it's just like animals running around. From like the point where they get kidnapped till you know.
The later half of this movie, the Home Alone segment, really is like feels like a different movie almost.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and also shout out to Hugh Laurie and what was it? Mark Williams. Amazing as cheap knockoff version of the Wet Bandits.
Yeah, I forgot that those. I remember Hugh Laurie was in it, but I didn't realize who played Mark. Whatever his name.
Mark Williams.
Mark Williams. Yeah, because back when I was a kid, I definitely wasn't like, oh, it's Ron Weasley's dad. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
whereas now rewatching it, I'm like, oh, it's Ron Weasley's dad.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a really good time. I think, obviously, yeah. I don't know how much else you want to talk about. Obviously, Cruella, really interesting, over the top performance. Are you keen to watch Cruella after watching this? In a point before we've probably watched it.
Yeah, I mean, I was already keen, but I would say watching this move up at least a little bit, simply because I'm now more in the mood of that world. And also, the other thing I was thinking is, so Disney recently has been going down this train of like, obviously they started it with
Cinderella.
Maleficent, right? No, what?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Maleficent, like let's make the villain the lead, and also try and make him. I haven't watched those movies, but
No.
like going off the trailers and everything, like let's try and make them somewhat sympathetic, or
Yeah.
which is interesting because Disney villains are always just straight up
Bad guys.
bad guys. Like there's no
little grey.
room. There's no grey. It's just like they're bad guys, which is fine because the kids' movies and they just want that. It's like they're the villain. There's no grey. It's just easy for kids to go bad person, you know. So now they're doing this thing where they're chucking a lot of their villains in the lead role or trying to do stuff with them. And, you know, watching this movie, it's like, well, what's the redeeming factor of Cruella in this movie? None. She's a terrible person. I imagine she's a racist on the side. You know, like, it's like, I could imagine all these other terrible things.
I don't know. Like, there's certain elements that, like, this plays weird now. Like, where she goes off, like, a woman should be stuck at home being a housewife. Like, at the start of the film, that women can achieve more if they're staying at work instead of giving up their lives to raise a family. I'm like, that's very, like, pretty modern and forward-thinking feminism.
This coming out after Pretty Woman?
I don't think so.
No? Okay, I was about to say that might have been, like, there's a thing
Pretty...
there. But I mean, other than that...
No, Pretty Woman's 1990. Fucking hell.
Oh, damn. There you
Yeah.
go. So, yeah. Other than that, she's just a straight up terrible person. It's
She
like no
does-
redeeming factors.
Hold the torn-off skin of a zoo's Siberian tiger.
Yeah.
You know, and does ventriloquism with it for a little bit.
She was willing to kill people to steal dogs to then kill dogs. Like let's not beat around the bush. She's a very evil person. So yeah, watching this and seeing as much fun as to watch Glenn Close in that performance, the character's just an evil bitch, to be honest, and that's what it is. So it made me go, okay, well, how do they in Cruella? And I can already kind of see how they're doing it because the most recent trailer kind of was a better trailer in my opinion. Like it gave you a better look at I can't remember the actress who's playing her mentor in that movie.
Emma Thompson, I want to say.
Emma Thompson, yes, that's who it is. It gave you a better look at her character, who is the fashion lead that Cruella, as a young woman, is
Aspiring to.
working for and inspiring to be. And also, as the trailer basically sets up, the woman who pushes her to become the evil Cruella that we come to know. It seems to be that's her pushing point. So it seems the plot of that movie is like to make her more sympathetic. They're going to say, yeah, she does turn into an evil bitch, but it's not because that's how she was from the start, sort of thing. So, but it's still just interesting watching this again. Well, how do you make this character sympathetic? like you definitely could not pitch a case based solely on 101 Dalmatians. How you make the character of Cruella someone that the audience could sympathize with. Yeah. Are you more excited or no? Same?
Yeah, I'm definitely keen. I'm also seeing like some of the good press before we've gotten a chance to see it. Makes me more optimistic, and like getting a chance to see any of these movies in the big screen is like almost an automatic plus. So yeah, I'm pretty keen to check it out and see what Emma Stone does with this iconic kind of character who's kind of got a life of her own. I mean, it's kind of weird that she would keep the black and white hairstyle all these years. I think, like, as a fashion person, you wouldn't think they would stick to the same haircut like the entire time. But you know,
so it's a
I mean, it's like iconic,
signature look. Yeah, signature look.
Signature look. Yeah, that makes sense. The other thing I didn't realize or didn't remember was how important video games were into this.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that as well.
It's like,
which is quite funny. Because,
you know,
so all I was thinking, so the very, no, it's not. Because, you know, what was making me think at the start when they have the kid playing the game and like being basically this BL tester of if games get made or not, which is dumb as all fuck. But it automatically just made me think about, what's the fuck on Apple TV?
Mythic Quest, yeah.
Mythic Quest. It just had
in
me
which
thinking straight away about
a bunch of kid streamers like kind of rule the world.
Rule the world, yeah. Like one key kid streamer, yay or nay, will sell your video games or not, and everyone's waiting to see what he says. And in 101 Dalmatians, it's this random kid who decides if your game's will be brought by seemingly the one video game publisher, I guess, in all of England. Like, there's no point where Jeff Daniels' character goes, "Oh, they don't want it. I guess I'll take it to
Activision."
To Activision, you know what I mean? Like, there's no, it's just like the one video game publisher. Yeah, it definitely wasn't weird.
Also,
I mean, the game looked cool. Graphics look really
dope.
good.
I think even now would look amazing if we had. Can't think of a game that looked that pretty, like cel shaded, like animated style, like maybe Cuphead or something. But
I was about to say we've had like Cuphead and stuff now, but definitely when this came out, it would have been like that game looked way better than
where it's just straight up animated cells from the animated animation team. Yeah, a lot of times to Disney stuff, like obviously they show Aristocrats during one portion of the show, the thing and that kind of stuff. So a lot of good scenes.
Cross marketing,
you know, save it. Driftbridge is saving that puppy by stroking its back because that's how that works.
It's a lesson in
miracle.
Life.
That's how doctors work.
Scenes like that is what leads to little kids not understanding death. You know? Oh, your puppy died. But I watched 101 Dalmatians, so if we pat it nicely on the back,
It'll come back to life. It was hit by a car. No, just keep pat. I'm just going to keep
pat
patting.
on the back. Yeah. If it was Agatha all along. No, just pat it on the back. It's fine.
All right. Let us know what you thought. 101 Dalmatians by going to explosion.com/Twitter. You can find our Twitter handles there to let us know. Or you can jump to his Discord at explosion.com/Discord. If you enjoyed this episode and thought it was worth it, I'll head on over to a Ko-fi page at explosion.com/support. And you can leave as little as $1. Every little bit helps. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.